Gary Payton Jr. played 2 years with a community college out of high school and played 5 different seasons in the G League before finally getting a home with the Warriors. This was his first season ever playing over 30 NBA games and his first season playing in the playoffs. And in this year's playoffs, he came off the bench to play really good defense and even had a couple nights where he was in double figures offensively. It's safe to say that the young glove has finally made it, but it also makes the fact that he got hurt that much worse. But dealing with adversity is nothing new to Gary Payton Jr. He went to Spring Valley High School for his first 3 years, where he would receive 3 varsity letters, 2 being for basketball and 1 being for swimming. He went to Westwind Prep for his final year, but graduated unranked and with 0 offers. So from there, he would go play for Salt Lake Community College in Utah. And in his first year, he averaged 9.4 points, 3.7 assists, and almost 2 steals a game. They would go on to win the Region 18 tournament along with winning the SWAC championship. And in his sophomore year, he would increase his points per game to 14 and would go on to win the Region 18 tournament in back-to-back years. This was enough for Oregon State to give him a chance, but Oregon State is also the same school that his dad attended before the NBA. Gary Payton Jr. had multiple 20-point, 10-rebound games throughout the season, and in just his 9th game, he had a stat line of 10 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists, and 6 steals, which made him the second player in Oregon State history to achieve a triple-double. That other person, of course, being his dad. He finished the season averaging 13 points, 7.5 rebounds, and 3 assists, along with 3 steals and a block per game. And on top of it, he was the Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year. His senior season, he would put up similar numbers while being a top 10 candidate for the Bob Cousy Award, which goes to the best point guard in college basketball. After college, he would declare for the 2016 NBA Draft, but would eventually go undrafted. He joined the Rockets Summer League team and was eventually signed to the Rockets from that. But literally just 1 month later, after playing 6 preseason games, he was cut from the team, which would lead him to the Rio Grande Valley Vipers, a team that Gary would soon to get to know very, very well. He played 49 games, averaging 14.1 points, and even had a game where he put up 51 points on 20 for 29 shooting. But he would be signed to a 2-way contract, mainly playing for the Bucks G League team. And was also the same season where Gary Payton Jr. would get his first NBA start due to players being out because of injury. And ironic enough, he would only play 9 minutes before getting hurt himself. Then on December 13th, also my birthday, he was waived for the second time by the Bucks in favor of Sean Kilpatrick. A month later, on January 15th, the Lakers would sign him to a 2-way contract, really not playing any minutes in the few Laker games he got in. Except for the very last game of the season. The Lakers were sitting at 34-47, waiting for LeBron to come win them a ring. But in that final game, Gary played 30 minutes coming off the bench, scoring 25 points and getting 12 rebounds, showing that he can be an effective player and deserves to be in the NBA. He wasn't re-signed after the season, but instead would sign a training camp contract with the Blazers, where soon after he would be waived, which led him back to the Rio Grande Valley Vipers yet again to play in the G League until January 29th, the Wizards would sign him to a 10-day. He played 3 games, but the Wizards did not offer him a second contract. So Gary went back to the only team that seemed to really want him, with the Rio Grande Valley Vipers. But then in October of 2019, he was traded to the South Bay Lakers to play for them before getting re-signed by the Wizards just 2 days before Christmas. This time he would play 29 games, getting 17 starts, but still only averaged 15 minutes a game, so his stats weren't very good. But from here on out, this is where everything began to change for him. In 2021, the G League had a special draft where only teams that were competing in the bubble would be in it, and Gary Payton Jr. would get drafted 15th overall to the Raptors 905. In the short season with the Raptors G League team, Gary would average 10.8 points, 5.6 rebounds, 2.6 assists, and 2.5 steals a game. He was also named the G League's 2021 Defensive Player of the Year, so people are finally starting to notice him, including the Warriors, because on April 8th, 2021, he was signed to a 10-day contract and then was re-signed for the rest of the season. Right now, he's on a deal worth $2 million a year, but next year he will be a free agent, who I'd assume would most likely get re-signed by the Warriors. It's actually crazy to see how far he's come. He's played for so many different teams in the NBA and G League and had so many different moments where it looked like he was never gonna make it. From community college to multiple 10 days in G League contracts, he finally played a full season in the NBA with a good future going forward. And at least this time, he has real NBA experience on a winning team. But thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, don't forget to leave a like, and please subscribe to the channel, it would mean a lot.